Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be presenting on the world of an introvert and why I think societies are made for extroverts. If I ask you to think of an introvert, what picture comes to mind? I know some of you are probably thinking of a person sitting by themselves and reading a book. Well, you're right. That is something an introvert would do. Now, if I ask you to picture an extrovert, what comes to mind? Person having fun at a party or just socializing with friends? If you thought that, you're also correct. But that's not the entire picture. Most people think of introverts as the quiet people and extroverts as the loud people. But that's not an accurate way to think about introversion and extroversion. A better way is to think of it as a spectrum, with introversion on the far left and extroversion on the far right. Everyone has their place on the spectrum. If you fall close to the side of introversion, it doesn't mean you're quiet or antisocial. It means you find social interactions draining. To better understand it, you can think of people as batteries. Introverts recharge alone, extroverts recharge or get their energy from other people. Unfortunately, I fall toward the side with introversion. I do socialize, but sometimes I find it draining. Now, why did I say unfortunately? Simple, because in my community, introverts do not have it easy. Like many other communities, my society is made for people on the right side of the spectrum, the more extroverted people. But why? Why does society favor extroversion? Well, the first reason is that socializing or communicating with others is a crucial part of any society. The art of conversing well with others comes naturally to extroverts. In many social settings, extroverts are really shy and are comfortable with meeting new people. This is a crucial trait for making friends, getting jobs, or any other social engagement. In this regard, extroverts have it better because socialization might be draining to an introvert. Another reason is that extroverts perform better in some specific workplaces. Generally, extroverts like doing something, they want to be doers. When they get bored, it means they're not doing enough. Coupled with the ability to socialize and work well in group settings, extroverts are likely to perform better than introverts in some workspaces, and in some cases, even earn more than introverts. A survey of more than 72,000 people showed that extroverted workers had a substantial income advantage over introverts. The third reason is that there's a universal belief that the ideal leader should be comfortable with being in the spotlight. According to Jensen, extroversion has been elevated to the extrovert ideal, the omnipresent belief that the ideal self is gregarious, alpha, and comfortable in the spotlight. Let's think about it. When you were in primary school and it was time to pick a class prefect, you'd probably vote for the outgoing student instead of the quiet one. The thing is, if you're an extrovert, others label you as outgoing, making you their ideal leader. All the reasons mentioned above highlight why society favors extroverts, allowing them to flourish in the community. However, one could argue that over the past year, things have changed because of the pandemic. While the world was combating the pandemic, some introverts got a chance to enjoy the solitude of their rooms and do whatever they wanted to. I got the opportunity to practice my programming, read a lot of books, and even picked up a new skill, digital art. The bliss experienced by introverts during the pandemic was not felt by extroverts. To them, it felt like they were in prison. This is because an extrovert's brain reward circuitry is activated when they're in a social environment. Thus, they could argue that now introverts have it better. While introverts did have their moment, it's ephemeral. Things will eventually return to normal. Even now, lockdowns are easing in many countries, leading people to assume the pandemic is over. Extroverts will soon have their lives back. Even though we live in a world meant for extroverts, there's something every individual can do to better the lives of introverts. Now, if you recognize that someone is an introvert and likes to spend times by themselves, understand that there's nothing wrong with that. In some communities in Ghana, if you're quiet, then there's a problem with you. I remember my kindergarten teacher asking, "So you, why don't you like talking?" Because as a kid, I didn't talk much. Don't poke around and make introverts feel uncomfortable for doing what feels natural to them. In conclusion, societies prefer extroverts because they're good at socializing, excel at jobs that require collaboration, and their preconceived notion that the archetypal leader is an extrovert. Even though the pandemic was a time of bliss for introverts, things will return to normal. And while it's tough for an introvert to remain in an extrovert society, I hope we now understand how we can make introverts' lives better. Thank you.